tatak, oragon sa inmandarhon. Dahil mapadaog sa rarok, sa rabay, may paglaong sa gabos. Dahil naman ang gandang tunay na tatak na biyuwenyo. Pag sinabing biyuwenyo, magaling siguradong titingalain na mamutawi ang pag-ibig sa iyong puso pagkat ikaw ay isang tunay na biyuwenyo.
Ibang klase ang galing-galing ng biyuwenyo. Kayang pagmalaki kahit kanino. Taas noo sa kabutihan ng iyong puso. Kahit saan man dalhin ng mundo.
Biyuwenyo, halina't sumabay sa tutugin ng ating tagumpay. Sa nining ng biyuwenyo, ikaw at ako
Bawat biyuin yung nandirito, taglay mo ang galing na sigurado. Kahit saan man mapunta, galing mo ay
Medina, and I will be your moderator for this event or this orientation. And at the same time, your BUGSSC president. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, may I request everyone to please bow your heads for the invocation and to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us all today in this important endeavor. We ask that you bestow your guidance and blessing upon each attendee. May we honor one another by keeping an open mind. May we voice our truth and listen with an open heart. Bless everyone present today, that each may be able to share his or her contributions and gifts. Grant good health and safety to loved ones left outside this room, and bestow peace and goodwill to all of us. We ask for your wisdom and grace to use our talents for the betterment of others. May the various activities related to this day be a success through your intervention. With gratitude, we offer this prayer in your name. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa
Once again, thank you. And we're still live here at the Zoom meeting and at the same time to the Bicol University page for the student orientation of the new and returning students for the first semester academic year 2023-2024. Now, to formally welcome every one of us this morning, may I now request the beloved Dean of the Bicol University Graduate School, Dr. Maria Jane B. Mascarenas. Ma'am Jane, good morning.
Good morning, Floyd. Thank you. Diyos marahay na aldaw sa gabos, to the BU President, the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Deans and Directors, Department Chairs, Program Advisors, graduate faculty members, and our beloved graduate students. Good morning. Welcome to this BU Graduate School Orientation, School Year 2023-2024. BU Graduate School Orientation is regularly given every year with the purpose to let the students be aware or remind them of what will be expected once they enter graduate studies in Bicol University and start their advanced education, their academic journey from admission to graduation. It is not enough being able to be admitted and enroll in the graduate school, but what is critical to know are the responsibilities expected of a graduate student. As your professors have their role, you too, as graduate students, have your equally important role in getting your degrees in advanced education. My dear students, be reminded that at this stage of your academic journey, you are all adult learners. In graduate studies, teaching and learning processes follows andragogy, where you are recognized as self-directed, self-motivated adult learners, not anymore dependent on your professors for all the learning processes. In adult learning, your prior experiences serves as valuable resource. There is autonomous nature of learning coupled with theory and practice to solve real problems. BU expects you to enjoy your stay in the university, but not too much, or you may not graduate. It is important to know that you have to follow the required number of years to finish your degree. There is only a certain number of years that you will be allowed to stay and finish your desired degrees, whether you are in the master's or doctorate level. Well, I don't want to preempt the discussion on the BU graduate school policies, so let me just welcome you and say to all students here now in this Zoom orientation, good luck in your academic journey in Bicol University Graduate School. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again, Dr. Maria Jane B. Mascarenas, our Dean of the Bicol University Graduate School, for welcoming everyone here in our Zoom meeting and Facebook Live. Now, at this juncture, let's have the message, or should I say the inspirational message, by our SUC President 4 of Bicol University, Dr. Baby Boy Benjamin D. Nebres III.
Sa mga bagong miyembro ng pamilya ng Pamantasan Bicol, isang makahulugang panimula ng inyong paglalakbay bilang mga BUenos. My warmest welcome to another academic journey of learning, living, and loving. You are among the truly blessed now that you are officially part of the growing number of the Bicol University family. Our vision of a university for humanity towards productive scholarship, collaborative service, transformative leadership, and a distinctive character for sustainable societies is our dream for you and the rest of the Bicol University family. As you work for your dreams, don't forget to smile, laugh, have fun as you learn and live the life of a holistic and balanced student. Mataas at maganda ang pangarap namin at ng inyong mga guro at profesor para sa inyo. We would like to form you to become not only intellectuals, but more so leaders and productive scholars with a heart for collaborative service to humanity, so that each of you may contribute to building sustainable societies. At the heart of it all, I hope that you become persons of faith in a divine providence, in yourself and with each other. After all, we are not islands. We cannot thrive alone. Ikaw, ako, tayo, ang Bicol University, BUC. As your president, I officially welcome each of you to Bicol University family.
Thank you so much once again to our SUC President 4 for that inspirational message, Dr. Baby Boy Benjamin D. Debres III. Now let's move on to another inspirational message for this morning, to the ever dynamic and active Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Maria Julieta B. Bores. Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning, Floyd. To our beloved President, Dr. Baby Boy Benjamin D. Debres III, to the Vice Presidents who are in attendance, the Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Maria Jane Mascareñas, the Deans of the Decentralized Colleges, the Program Advisors, Coordinators, dear colleagues, faculty members, the non-teaching personnel, and of course, our dear graduate students. A pleasant Saturday to each one of us. I'd like to begin by congratulating our students on their acceptance into the respective programs. At this point, you must be already aware that admission to the graduate programs at Bicol University is difficult. Consequently, I must assume that everyone here is earnest in their pursuit of higher degree. As already pointed out by Dr. Mascareñas, this level of education cannot be compared to the basic education, because graduate education is more specialized and research-oriented. Individuals or scholars who are committed to advancing their knowledge and expertise in a particular field or pursuing professions requiring advanced degrees pursue or enroll in graduate studies. Graduate school can be a thrilling endeavor. You may believe that you enroll in a graduate program solely to earn a degree or a higher degree, without realizing that you have also the opportunity to discover your true potential, participate in molding the future, and serve a higher purpose. On a serious note, graduate studies can be an arduous and difficult journey. You are here to participate in a more intricate process of seeking, rediscovering, producing new knowledge, as well as demonstrating or disproving theories and concepts. As a result, it is expected that you will be facing obstacles, probably self-doubt, if you can still continue, working late into the night or even until early mornings, as we all know that most of you here are working students. Having to rewrite and revise your academic papers until they meet the minimum requirements of this university, and other challenges. So at this point, allow me to impart some advice that you will likely find helpful and useful as you navigate the academic rigors of graduate school. You may start by a clear understanding of why you are pursuing graduate studies and what you expect to accomplish. Having a specific measurable objectives will help you remain motivated and focused. Another is you should be able to develop a very effective time management. It's very indispensable. Create a schedule that includes time for classes, research, studying, employment or your work, and of course, your personal responsibilities. You may use tools that will develop your effective time management. There are applications or you can even make use of traditional methods so that you will be able to keep a very good, effective time management system. Second is you should be able to keep track of your assignments, due dates, and significant dates. In my experience teaching in the graduate school, I always hear this from my students. Ma'am, hindi ako makapag-submit because I have many concerns and assignments at my work. So you should be able to have this, again, time management and keep track of assignments, due dates, and significant dates. You should also have a very effective study methods. Determine which study method would work best for you. Kayong mas nakakaalam doon. You may experiment with various learning techniques such as active recall and many more methods of studying. It's also very important that you should prioritize self-care and maintain a healthy work balance. We often hear from students and even from our colleagues that yung tinatawag natin na mental health. Graduate school, my dear friends, can be very demanding, but it is essential that you prioritize self-care and maintain a healthy work-life balance. You should be able to allot time for recreation, pastime, socializing with loved ones. Put your physical and mental health as your priority. Otherwise, kahit anong efforts ang i-invest in you in your study, if magsasuffer naman yung health mo, just the same, you'll not be able to finish your degree. Develop a support network. Communicate with other graduate students and develop a support network. Sharing knowledge and insight can be extremely beneficial. When necessary, when in times that you need help, you may seek mentorship from our professors, senior students. Nandiyan po ang ating mga program advisors and of course, our school administrators to extend the academic support that you will need. Concentrate on developing solid investigation as early as possible. As I have mentioned a while ago, this is now different from basic education because this is focused more on seeking, rediscovering knowledge, research. So learn how to conduct effective literature reviews, experiment designs, and data analysis. It's also important that you stay current, meaning keep abreast of the most recent development in your respective field. Participate in seminars, conferences, workshops to maintain your knowledge and network with experts in your field of study. And these inputs that you will be getting from this participation in seminars, you can bring them in class discussions when you go back to your studies in the graduate school. Be adaptable. Be willing to modify your plans and research focus as you gain knowledge in your field. It's also very important that you allot time for reflection. Regularly evaluate your progress and adjust your objectives and strategies as necessary. Yung bang tipong titinan mo how are you progressing in your respective program. By doing this, it can assist you in staying on course and evaluating and measuring your progress. Recognize and celebrate your accomplishments, regardless of how significant they may appear. This can help you maintain your self-motivation and momentum. Lastly, consider your career objectives and plan for the future. Seek out internship, conference, publications that correspond with your career goals. My dear graduate students, keep in mind that pursuing graduate studies does not have to be a marathon. It is acceptable that you will encounter obstacles along the way, but you can successfully navigate the academic rigors of graduate education with determination, effective strategies, support, and a lot of prayer to the one above. Graduate courses can be difficult, you already know that, but they also provide enormous opportunities for intellectual and personal development. You can successfully navigate the rigors if you have the necessary tools that I have already mentioned. You have taken your first step into the world of graduate education. And for that, my huge congratulations to all of you. The BU Graduate School will ensure that the future that awaits you is vibrant. And it's all up to you to claim it. May you have a meaningful orientation program. And once again, good morning.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maria Joleta B. Bores, for your unwavering support and encouragement to the BU students, especially to the graduate students. So once again, maraming salamat po, ma'am. Now, this time, may we request once again Dr. Maria Jane B. Mascarenas, the Dean of the Bicol University Graduate School, to introduce the graduate school and at the same time its programs and the presentation of respective deans and directors. Ma'am Jane, once again, good morning.
Thank you, Lord. Okay. Okay. So as Dean of the Graduate School, it is my task to provide a brief introduction to what is Bicol University Graduate School to our new students and returning students. So let me give you a brief background of how the graduate school came into being. Operating in the spirit of its charter, BU organized its graduate school in 1971 through the BOR Resolution number 38, series of 1971. It also opened its first graduate program, leading to Master of Arts in Education by virtue of BOR Resolution number 39, series of 1971. Thus, on June 1971, the BU Graduate School welcomed its first batch of 473 graduate students, according to the 1971-1972 annual report. In pursuit of its mandate, the graduate school offers programs and spearheads projects that are in accordance with its institutional objectives. Initially, offering three master's programs during its inception, the graduate school has now 7 doctoral programs, 34 master's programs, and 24 diploma programs, and still growing. Enrollment at the graduate school has also increased substantially, as well as the number of graduates during its more than 3 decades of existence. At this point, this first semester, we have 215 enrolled graduate students only this first semester. Today, the revised BU Graduate School Policy, series of 2021, is anchored on CHED Memorandum number 15, series of 2019, which specifies clearly the policies, standards, and guidelines, or PSGs, for graduate studies by CHED. So therefore, all SUCs are mandated to follow the CMO 15. In Bicol University, where are we now as far as CMO 15 is concerned? While it is expected that full implementation will be in 2024-2025, at the moment, just for information of everyone, we are gradually transitioning to be compliant in all these procedures and requirements. Okay, so let me now introduce the different graduate programs, decentralized programs to the different colleges, and the deans and directors of the different colleges hosting the different graduate programs. May I start with the College of Business, Economics, and Management. This is headed by Dr. Dimson M. Rivero. So all programs related to the Business, Economics, and Management are hosted by the CBEM unit of the Bicol University. So CBEM hosts these following programs: Master in Cooperative Management, Master in Management, Master in Management, Major in Human Resource Management, Master in Entrepreneurship, Master in Economics. Next, the College of Social Sciences and Philosophy, headed by Attorney Alex B. Nepomuceno, hosts the programs on PhD in Peace and Security Administration, Master of Arts in Peace and Security Studies. The College of Education hosts the different education programs headed by Dr. Lorna M. Minya. These are the following: Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Management, PhD in Educational Foundations, PhD in Mathematics Education, Master of Arts in Biology Education, Master of Arts in Chemistry Education, Master of Arts in Cultural Education, Master in English Education, Master in Educational Leadership and Management, Master of Arts in Filipino Education, Master of Arts in General Science Education, Master of Arts in Guidance and Counseling, Master of Arts in Mathematics Education, Master of Arts in Music Education, Master of Arts in Physics Education, Master of Arts in Preschool Education, Master of Arts in Reading Education, Master of Arts in Social Studies Education. This is the college hosting the biggest number of programs offered by the graduate school. For the Open University or the distance education, the following programs are being offered, and this is headed by Dr. Benedicto Balilo as the Dean. Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Management, Master of Arts in Educational Leadership and Management, Master of Arts in English Education, Master of Arts in Social Studies Education, Master of Public Administration, Master in Local Government Management, and Master in Management. These programs are being offered fully online. The Institute of Physical Education, Sports, and Recreation, headed by its Dean, Director, Professor Karina Sales, offers or hosts the program Master of Arts in Physical Education. The College of Arts and Letters, with the Dean, Dr. Irene Moral, offers PhD in Filipino, Master of Arts in Literature, and Master of Arts in Filipino. The Jesse Robredo Institute of Governance and Development, headed by the Director, Dr. Noemi Lobrigo Ibo, offers the following programs: PhD in Development Management, PhD in Public Administration, Master of Public Administration, Master of Public Administration Major in Health Emergency and Disaster Management, Master of Public Administration Major in Public Procurement, Master in Local Government Management. The College of Science, with the Dean, Professor Jocelyn Serrano, hosts the following programs of the graduate school: Master in Information System, Master of Science in Biology. The College of Nursing, through its Dean, Dr. Jean Annette Ibo, hosts the Master of Arts in Nursing. The Institute of Design and Architecture, headed by Director, Architect Leo Del Rosario, hosts the MS or Master of Science in Architecture. The College of Industrial Technology hosts the program on Master of Arts in Industrial Education, major in Instructional Technology, and major in Teaching Technology and Livelihood Education. This is headed by the Dean, Dr. Jonathan Arroco. Bicol University Ginubatan has the following programs. This is headed by Dr. Rosefi D as the Dean. The following programs offered in Ginubatan through the college, through the Ginubatan campus: Master of Science in Agriculture, major in Agricultural Education, major in Crop Science, major in Animal Science, Master in Rural Development, Master of Science in Biodiversity and Environmental Management, and the Master of Science in Sustainable Food Systems. Bicol University Tabaco hosts the following programs: Master of Science in Fisheries, major in Aquaculture, major in Coastal Resource Management, and MS in Fisheries Technology. This is headed by the Dean, Dr. Maria Gisela Morteca. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again, Dr. Maria Jane B. Mascareñas, for the introduction of the graduate school and its programs and the presentations of the respective deans and directors of the graduate school. Once again, may I just remind our graduate students to kindly mute your microphone all the time. And now, at this juncture, we will proceed to the presentation of the respective program advisors. Now, may we request our first in line, the Dean of the College of Business, Economics, and Management, Dr. Dimson M. Rivero. Dean Dimson, magandang umaga, sir.
Okay, good morning. I hope my voice is audible. Okay. So good morning, everyone. I have the honor to present to you the key echelon of Bicol University College of Business, Economics, and Management under a decentralized structure for BU Graduate School program. Start with, of course, yours truly, the Dean of the College of Business, Economics, and Management. And under me, we have Professor Sheila B. Disuyo, Master in Economics, Assistant Professor 3, the Associate Dean, and the Planning Officer of BUCBEM. After that, we have the Chairperson of the Department of Business Administration, Associate Professor 1, Janet G. Poha, Doctor of Business Administration. She is the Program Advisor for Master in Management, major in Human Resource Management. We also have Dr. Julianne M. Lustan, Assistant Professor 3, the Program Advisor of Master in Management. We also have Dr. Nolan G. Belaro, Associate Professor 5, the Chairperson of the Department of Entrepreneurship and the Program Advisor of Master in Cooperative Management. We also have Dr. Julieta V. Mojados, Assistant Professor 4, Program Advisor of Master in Entrepreneurship. And we have Professor Imelda A. Shapno, Master in Economics, the Chairperson, Department of Economics. And we have Dr. Elmer A. Lorenzana, Associate Professor 3, the Program Advisor for Master in Economics. That would be all. Thank you very much and have a good day ahead.
Thank you so much once again to the Dean of the Bicol University College of Business, Economics, and Management for the presentation of the program or respective program advisors. Now let's move on to the Dean of the College of Social Sciences and Philosophy, Attorney Alex B. Nepomuceno, PhD. Sir, good morning. So while we are waiting for our Dean Nepomuceno, let's now move on to the Dean of the College of Education. May we request Dr. Lorna M. Minya. Ma'am, good morning.
Okay, good morning. Um, okay, may I introduce to you the programs and the program advisors of the College of Education? As mentioned by our Dean of the Graduate School, we are host to the largest number of graduate programs. We are hosting 3 doctoral degree programs, 14 degree programs, and 17 diploma programs. Okay, with me as the Dean of the College of Education and the Associate Dean, Dr. John Mark Mayor, we are being supported by able program advisors from the different programs. We have Dr. Maria Teresa M. Abainsa, the Program Advisor of EDD and Educational Leadership and Management. I head the program for PhD and Educational Foundations. Dr. Leonela B. Barbacena is the Program Advisor of PhD and Mathematics Education. Dr. Reina O. Habalo is the Program Advisor of MA in Educational Leadership and Management. Dr. Angela E. Lorenzana is a Program Advisor of MA in English Education. Professor Benita B. Hugo is the Program Advisor of MA in Filipino Education. Professor Maria Lourdes M. Macasinag as the Program Advisor of MA in Biology Education. Professor Mary Grace A. Rodriguez, the Program Advisor of MA in Chemistry Education. Dr. Sheila I. Arroco as the Program Advisor of MA in General Science Education. Professor Arna Lorenzana as the Program Advisor of MA in Physics Education. Dr. Jocelyn F. Goyena as the Program Advisor of MA in Mathematics Education. Professor Maria Elena C. Ahoro for MA in Guidance and Counseling. Dr. Marcia Corazon Piorico as the Program Advisor of MA in Social Studies Education. Dr. Shirley N. Maloles as the Program Advisor of MA in Cultural Education. Professor Mylene G. Lieva, Program Advisor for MA in Preschool Education. Professor Miguela Ariquiero, Program Advisor of MA in Reading Education, and Professor Apple N. Rubio as Program Advisor of MA in Music Education. I would also like to introduce our clerical staff so that our new and returning students will find their way and will be able to be assisted by our clerical staff, Ms. Maricor A. Echaluce. Thank you very much and good morning.
Once again, thank you so much to the Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Lorna M. Minya. Now we will proceed to the Dean of the People University Open University, Dr. Benedicto P. Balilo Jr. Sir, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you, Floyd. The Bicol University, Open University, is located at BU third floor University Library. So allow me to present the the core faculty and affiliate lecturer of the Bicol University Open University. To start with the Associate Dean, Professor Jose Carlo V. Lavapie. At the same time, the program advisor of the Masters of Arts in Social Studies Education, or the MASOCSTED. Dr. Maria Jane B. Mascareñas, the core faculty, at the same time, the Dean of the Bicol University Graduate School. Dr. Ramesses M. Lorino, the program advisor of the Master of Public Administration, at the same time, the University Registrar. Dr. Roldan C. Cabiles, the program advisor of the Master of Arts in English Education, Maing Ed, at the same time, the BU GS Secretary. Dr. Melinda D. De Guzman, the program advisor of the Master of Arts in Educational Leadership and Management, and Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Management. Dr. Emily M. Agunos, the program advisor of the Master in Management, at the same time, the academic program coordinator. Dr. Ramon T. De Leon, the program advisor of the Master in Local Government Management and the student support coordinator. We have Professor Rolly N. Montealegre, the academic support coordinator. We have Professor Sean Henry San Buenaventura, the research and extension coordinator. Professor Martha Joy Roy-Bibar, the core faculty. And our support staff, Ms. Rian Renren Nario. Together with Mr. Renzo C. De Mesa, our lab assistant personnel, and yours truly, the Dean of the Open University. We have the affiliate faculty. We have Professor Barce Imelda Asuncion, Dr. Jocelyn Bartolata, Dr. Renelyn Bautista, Dr. Maria Olieta Bores, our BPAA, Professor Angelo Candelaria, Professor Ronel R. Juneda Sr., Dr. Rena Habalo, Dr. Herbert Rosana, and we have the professional lecturer, Professor Hermelita Antivola, Professor Aristides Balde, and we have Sir Chris Rivero. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much once again to the Dean of the Bicol University Open University, Dr. Benedicto B. Balilo Jr. Now we will proceed to the next, the Director of the Institute of Physical Education, Sports and Recreation. We have Professor Karina L. Sanz. Ma'am, good morning. So while we are waiting for Ma'am Sales, let's now have the Dean of the College of Arts and Letters. May we request the Doctor or the Dean, Dr. Irene R. Moral. Ma'am, magandang umaga po.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the graduate school programs under the Bicol University College of Arts and Letters. We are actually hosting 3 programs, 1 PhD, and then 2 master's degree programs. We have the first one, we have the Master of Arts in Literature. We have actually presented the objectives also of the programs for everyone's information, because we know that this is, of course, a venue for you to know the objectives of the program. We have the program advisor for Master of Arts and Literature is Dr. May Antoinette S. Imran. Of course, she obtained Bachelor of Arts in English, Political Science at Divine Word College of Legazpi Master of Arts in Literature, UST Manila, and PhD Literature, UST Manila. We also have Master of Arts in Filipino. Nakalagay po yung mga layunin ng programang Master sa Filipino. Pakibasa na lang po. For the Masters of Arts in Filipino, we have the Program Chair, Dr. Melanie L. Golosinda. Obtained Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education at Bicol University, Master of Arts in Education in Bicol University, and PhD Filipino in Bicol University. And we have Dr. PhD in Filipino, Doctor of Philosophy in Filipino. Nakasaad po yung mga layunin ng programang PhD in Filipino. And the program chair is, of course, Dr. Leticia M. Lopez, who is also the director of the Bicol University Language Center. Obtained BS in Elementary Education in Bicol University, Master of Arts in Education, Major in Filipino in Bicol University, and PhD Filipino in Bicol University. The Associate Dean of the College of Arts and Letters is none other than Professor Marnie Morano, and of course, yours truly is the Dean of the College of Arts and Letters. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Once again, Dr. Irene R. Moral, the Dean of the College of Arts and Letters. Now, this time, we will now have the Director of the Jesse M. Robredo Institute of Governance and Development, Dr. Noemi Lobrigo. Dr. Noyes, good morning.
Thank you, Flored. Good morning to everyone. May I introduce to you the following program advisors of the 6 programs being hosted by the Bicol University Jesse M. Robredo Institute of Governance and Development. May I start with, first truly, Dr. Noemi Lobrigo Ibo, the Program Advisor of PhD Public Administration, and currently the Temporary Program Advisor of PhD Development Management. Also, I am the Graduate Studies Program Coordinator. We also have Dr. Rosemary T. Frias as the Program Advisor of the Master of Public Administration. Dr. Cynthia O. Mendoza, the Program Advisor of Master in Public Administration, Major in Public Procurement. We also have Professor Eda Salvacion Paje Adornado, the Program Advisor of Master in Public Administration, Major in Health, Emergency, and Disaster Management. She's also the advisor of the Graduate School Student Council and the CSAC of the BU Graduate School. We also have Kay Gariba Lusabia, the Program Advisor of Master in Local Government Management and the GOD Coordinator of the BU Graduate School. I also would like to introduce to you our support staff, and they are Ms. Catherine Arimado and Mr. J.R. Thomas. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again to the Director of the Jesse M. Robredo Institute Governance and Development, Dr. Noemi Lobrigo Ipo. Now, let's have the Dean of the College of Science, Professor Jocelyn E. Serrano. Ma'am, good morning. So while we are waiting for Dean Serrano, let's have the Dean of the College of Nursing, Dr. Annette S. Ibo. Ma'am, good morning. While we are waiting, now let's have the Director of the Institute of Design and Architecture, Architect Leo A. Del Rosario. Sir, good morning. Now, how about the Dean of the College of Industrial Technology? Let's have Dr. Jonathan C. Aroco. Magandang umaga, sir.
Magandang umaga. Good morning to all our students, to our Dean of the Graduate School, the other deans and directors. And I have the honor to present as Dean of the College of Industrial Technology, the program Master of Arts in Industrial Education, which is hosted by the College of Industrial Technology and is headed by yours truly. And I'm assisted by Professor Arlene A. Balleras and the program advisor of the MAIE program, which I should mention is already a level 3 pre-accredited program and has passed the level 4 phase 1 and is qualified for level 4. The program advisor, which shall be assisting the MAIE students in their journey in the graduate program, is none other than Dr. Kenji E. Merenciano. And that's all. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much once again, Dr. Jonathan C. Aroco, the Dean
Welcome.
of College of Industrial Technology. Now let's have the second to the last, the Dean of the BU Tabaco Campus, Dr. Maria Gisela N. Mortega. Ma'am, good morning. Now this time, let's have the last but definitely not the least, the Dean of the Bicol University Ginobatan Campus, Dr. Rosepe P.T. Ma'am.
Good morning. So allow me to share my screen. Share. Okay, good morning, everyone. So may I introduce to you the program chairs of the respective curricular offerings being offered by the Bicol University Ginobatan. First, we have Professor Ruby R. Orbeta, the program chair for Master in Rural Development. Second, we have Dr. Myla L. Nero, the program advisor for Master of Science in Biodiversity and Environmental Management. And the last one is Dr. Vigilia G. Armendi, the program advisor for Master of Science in Agriculture. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Once again, the Dean of the Bicol University Ginobatan Campus, Dr. D. Thank you. Now, for the information of everyone, here's the list of our other program advisors from the College of Social Sciences of Philosophy, hosting the following program: the Master of Arts in Peace and Security Studies and Doctor of Philosophy in Peace and Security Administration, headed by the program advisor, the Dean. Also, Attorney Alex B. Nepomuceno, PhD. And also to the none other than for the Program Advisor of Master of Arts in Physical Education from the Institute of Physical Education, Sports and Recreation, headed by Professor Karina Elsa. For the Bicol University College of Science, we have here the following programs: the MS Biology, headed by the Program Advisor, Dr. Lilibet Guday, and the MS in Information System, Professor Ryan A. Rodriguez. And for our Bicol University Tabaco Campus, we have the MS in Fisheries major in Aquaculture and the MS in Fisheries major in Coastal Resource Management and the MS in Fisheries headed by, of course, the Program Advisor, Dr. Alex B. Campaya. And lastly, for the College of Nursing, of course, we have none other than the Master of Arts in Nursing, headed by the Program Advisor, Dr. Nera A. Galan. So now, it is complete with our none other than sa ating mga Program Advisors and, of course, our programs. So this time, we will now proceed to the Bicol University Graduate School academic policies. May we request the ever active and hardworking Secretary of the Bicol University Graduate School, Dr. Roldan C. Cabiles. Sir Dan, good morning.
Thank you, Floyd. Thank you for your kind introduction. Good morning to our students, to our program advisors, to the graduate faculty members, to the deans and directors, and the officials of Bicol University. We have the Vice President for Academic Affairs and the President himself, Dr. Baby Boy Benjamin D. Nebres III. I will be discussing this morning one of the important component in your stay in the graduate school is for you to be oriented of our academic policies, which is, as mentioned by our dean a while ago, anchored on the CMO 15 series of 2019. I also would like to underscore two things which I got from our VBAA and from our graduate school dean, that in the graduate school, we are in a highly specialized programs. So there are highly specialized skills that are expected of you as graduate students. And at the same time, your journey in the graduate school is research oriented, and that there really are certain skills that you have to develop before you can be granted with a degree. The BUGS academic policy has been revised. This is through the initiative, of course, of the previous president of Bicol University, Dr. Arnulfo Mascareñas, and the previous administration of the graduate school, Dr. Herbert Rosana, and the previous secretary of the graduate school, Dr. Samuel Bobiles. I'd like to begin with the learning outcomes of BUGS. And these are, first, if you're a graduate of Bicol University Graduate School, the following learning outcomes must be met by all of you, our students. First, you should be able to demonstrate critical thinking and integrative skills to solve problems and to support lifelong learning. Communicate effectively and appropriately, orally and in writing for various purposes with the responsible use of ICT tools. Collaborate with diverse people ethically and with mastery of knowledge and skills in given disciplines. Create knowledge and innovation to promote inclusive development as well as globalization. All of this will be met and are mainstreamed in the curriculum of the respective programs. These are the BUGS learning outcomes. Graduates of Bicol University are professionals who articulate competencies in specialization or expertise towards contributing to science, development, and economy, analyze issues with critical scrutiny and in-depth understanding of the underlying principles and theories, create framework options for innovation solutions to challenges for research, development, and innovation. And you have to demonstrate positive attitude imbued with ethics of a world citizen in addressing issues in society. The BUGS policy highlights two major components, and these are strengthening of the nation's innovation and research and development, cultivation of a culture of, again, research and innovation in the graduate programs, called out, of course, from the CMO number 15 series of 2019. As of the moment, we are following the revised BUGS policy as underscored by our dean, that the BUGS policy is anchored on the provisions, significant provisions of the CHED CMO number 15 series of 2019. These are the underpinnings of the graduate programs in particular. First, there is a rigorous evaluation of work and interaction with professors and peers. Professional experience via internships, teaching and research, production of original research, and creative work. I'd like to walk you through on the admission process until the graduation, because these are very important. I'll be discussing only the salient provisions in our BUGS policy so that you'll be guided on how you're going to finish your program, of course, smoothly. Of course, guided by the underpinnings and the philosophical underpinnings of our policy that, of course, the three things that I have mentioned a while ago, the rigorous evaluation of work and interaction, professional experience via internship, teaching and research, and finally research and creative work, or coming up with your original research. This has been approved by the Board of Regents through resolution number 66, series of 2021, a resolution approving the revised policies, guidelines, and procedures for graduate studies in Bicol University, thereby amending any board resolution or university issuance which may be consistent herewith, the details of which are reflected in the document hereto attached and made part thereof. So this is now the policy of the graduate school. I'd like to begin with admission status. I think we have students here who were admitted for the first semester 2023-2024, and all of you may have received two or a different category. Maybe it's a regular admission or a probationary admission. Admission in the graduate school shall be classified either as, again, regular or probationary status. What do we mean by regular admission? If you have received a notice of admission which has a category of regular admission, which means that an applicant whose academic records and supporting documents indicate that he or she is qualified to undertake graduate study in his or her chosen field. Okay? If you have received a probationary admission status, it means that an applicant whose academic records and supporting documents indicate deficiencies but show promise of success in graduate study. Probationary admission is also offered to international students whose academic background qualify for admission but who failed to show proof of English proficiency. change of admission status from probationary. How are we going to change? If we have received a probationary admission status, how do we change it to regular admission? You have to meet the specific requirements prescribed by the program advisor before his probationary status can be changed to regular status. The applicant who fails to meet the terms of his probationary admission is automatically disqualified from pursuing his intended program of study. So please take note of this very significant provision. Students on probationary status may be allowed to register the following term after completing 9 units of coursework with a general weighted average. I'd like to underscore with a general weighted average of 2.0 upon submission of an approved change of status from probationary to regular, issued of course by the Dean of the graduate school. Let's proceed to the registration. A student may carry a regular load of 12 units in a semester, and students can enroll up to 6 units during mid-year. However, a student may be allowed to carry more than regular academic load under justifiable circumstances, and it should be recommended by the advisor, approved by the dean of the graduate school. So again, I'd like to be clear on this. A student may carry a regular load of 12 units every semester. Please also take note of your residence in the graduate school. We have been experiencing concerns with regard to the residence of students in the graduate school, and we would like to remind our students who have been admitted from 2022 first sem, 2022, 2023, that and also those students who are enrolled in the graduate school, that you have to be aware of your residence. You know, a lot of students are requesting if they could still be admitted to graduate school. Okay, so we would like that this be followed, because you do not have you cannot enroll in the graduate school after getting 5 years of residence already. So as much as possible, if you are not going to enroll, if you plan not to enroll in a specific year or semester, we suggest that there should be you should file a leave of absence so that you can save the residence in the graduate school. For masters, you only have 5 years of actual residence from the start of your graduate work. That is the reason why it is a requirement that a student should submit plan of coursework and plan out the subjects that you are going to take from the time you are admitted to graduate school until graduation. Of course, within the 5 years residence for masters, and for doctoral programs, it's 7 years. Okay. The leave of absence. The application for leave of absence of a student who does not intend to enroll in his semester shall be filed at least 2 weeks before the start of the semester. While for students who are currently enrolled and wish to withdraw his or her enrollment, application for leave should be filed 2 weeks before his intended withdrawal commences. LOA in no case shall exceed 1 academic year, subject to renewal of very meritorious reasons. For example, you get pregnant, you had an accident, pero wag naman sana, no? So these are some cases which we can excuse. Total leave time in the degree program must not exceed in 2 years. A student who is in a wall or absence without leave status for a total of more than 2 years for masters and more than 3 years school years for doctoral will be automatically terminated from the program. That's why it's really advised that if you plan not to enroll in 1 year or 2 years, you rather file leave of absence so that you will not be covered by this provision in the policy. The significance of the plan of coursework. Follow the prescribed number of units in the coursework for each graduate program in the master's, doctoral, and in a diploma program, such as the foundation, major or specialization, cognate, thesis, or dissertation. A graduate student within his or her first semester of residence must prepare a plan of coursework considering the prescribed residence period for a degree in consultation with his or her advisory committee. Therefore, all the students who have been admitted within this first semester must already be preparing their plan of coursework in coordination, of course, with the program advisor, so that they can be guided on the persons who can be part of the advisory committee. The approved plan of coursework shall become the official program of the student, and these are stored here in the office. And from time to time, we refer to your plan of coursework. Every enrollment, we look into your plan of coursework, and we, of course, check whether the subjects that you are going to enroll are really indicated in your plan of coursework. That is how important it is that we appropriately accomplish the plan of coursework because it serves as our guide. It is the official program of the student and must be completely satisfied. Application for changes in the approved plan of coursework must be in consultation with his or her advisory committee. We cannot avoid cases where subjects may not be offered in a specific semester, and so there's a need for you to revise your plan of coursework, and we allow that. Of course, again, in consultation with your program advisor and your advisory committee. This is the form of our plan of coursework. You have to supply your name, the first name, the student number. For those who already have, the student number can be found in your certificate of registration. And the date of your admission can be found actually on the notice of admission that were released by the Office of the Dean of the Graduate School. You can also check your admission status there in your notice of admission, whether you're a regular student or if your admission is regular or probationary. Please take note that if we're going to fill out the plan of coursework, we have to begin from the time of our admission, okay? So do not just write the subjects that are offered within the semester. In populating the plan of coursework, for example, if you already have an enrollment in the graduate school for 2 years, all of the subjects that you have had in the graduate school should be reflected here. You can check your subjects taken from your student portal. You can check it from time to time and try to supply necessary information here in the plan of coursework. For the old students, we no longer require them to, if the plan of coursework has already been signed by the advisory committee, then changes, of course, will still be consulted with the with the advisory committee, and it must be recommended before coming to our office. Please make sure that the plan of coursework is recommended by the program advisor, the college secretary, and the dean of the graduate school. The next one is the student advisory committee. This is based on the Administrative Order number 690, series of 2022, issued by the Office of the President. Please take note of this. as we have already been receiving a lot of applications, nomination applications, requesting for their panelists. Please be guided that the following is the composition of our advisory committee. Of course, the advisor for masters must focus on the content. The committee chair, the chairperson, must focus on the content. So if you have identified a professor na content siya, please write only in the application that the faculty will only focus on the content and not in the method. Ano? For the members, there should be two. One for the content and one for the method. We encourage that the ones who will sit as a member under the method should really have an expertise in research, design, or statistics, so that there is balance in the critiquing of your manuscript. So we can perhaps ask the guidance, of course, of the program advisors who can be designated as under the content and under the method, and who will be the chairperson of the thesis committee. The same with the doctoral program. The advisor must focus on the content, the chair must focus on the content, and two of which should focus on content and method. These are some tips and reminders for the Student Advisory Committee. Together with your committee, you're going to, you will be the one who will plan your study. Okay, so you know better your case in consultation again, of course, with your advisory committee. You can plot the subjects, of course, in consideration of your residence, which is 5 for master's and 7 for doctoral. You can plot it in your plan of coursework. Your committee will be the one who will guide or advise you in your study and thesis or dissertation field of study. Your committee will be the one who will endorse all your request letters to the graduate school. That's why it's important that we accomplish properly the plan of coursework so that there will be no errors anymore, or else from time to time, we will have to request the advisory committee to sign in the plan of coursework. Be sure that your selected members have appropriate appointments in the graduate school to avoid delay in the processing. Yes. Before consulting officially with your advisor, make sure that there is an approval. And before holding defenses, make sure that the nomination form has been approved already by the graduate school, or make sure that there is a notice of defense before commencing activities relative to your defenses, so that there will be no delay, and of course there will be no discrepancies in terms of payment of our panelists. Changes in the committee members is allowed, of course, and again, it should be in consultation with the advisory committee. With the advisor and the program advisor. And you have to be careful in choosing the committee members. Make sure that the expertise are really considered in choosing our committee members. The qualifying examination for doctoral programs. I'd like to seek the attention of our PhD students, doctoral students, because you are covered already by this provision. This is the basis for evaluating your ability to pursue doctoral study and to determine a suitable program of coursework. Application should be submitted not later than 1 month before the date of examination. And if you fail in your qualifying examination, no re-examination shall be allowed, except on the unanimous approval of your advisory committee. And if you fail in the re-examination, you shall be permanently disqualified from earning the degree. So I hope this is clear to all of you. And please check whether you have already had your qualifying examinations or not. Okay, because per policy, you cannot enroll in the next semester without having taken or having passed the qualifying. Or if you could still comply, you have to consider the 1 year consideration in completing the grade. Otherwise, it will be converted to failing mark automatically in the online registration system. The passing grade in the graduate school is 3.0, but a graduate student has to maintain a general weighted average of 2.0 or better to be allowed to take the comprehensive examination. The reason why the office of the registrar is evaluating all the applications, whether you are compliant with this provision, with this particular provision before being allowed to take the comprehensive examination. Comprehensive examination. I'd like you to take note of this provision in the comprehensive exam. We have received a lot of applications already, and these are important reminders, okay, prior to the schedule of your comprehensive examination. It tests the student's competence in integrating knowledge in his or her major or minor fields, and shall be based on all courses prescribed for the student. In written form for master's, and oral and written form for the doctoral program, the registrar will certify whether the student has obtained a 2.0 or better general weighted average, and the student will be allowed to take the comprehensive examination if all of your INCs have already been assigned a grade by the faculty member or the professor. So if there are still subjects which has a mark of INC, you cannot be allowed with the graduate school to take the comprehensive examination. Another significant provision for the comprehensive examination is that a student whose general weighted average is lower than 2.0 shall be given the chance to qualify by allowing him or her to take 2 additional courses equivalent to 6 units upon the recommendation of the advisory committee to obtain the required general weighted average. If the student fails to qualify, he or she may avail of the diploma course for the program if it is available. A student who fails on his or her first attempt shall be given another chance to take. Please take note of this. Again, if you fail in the first attempt, you are going to be given another chance with the graduate school, not earlier than 1 month, but not later than 1 year after the first examination. And failure to pass the re-examination disqualifies the student permanently. Again, permanently from earning the degree. Ito ay medyo mabigat po. That's why we have to make sure that we study really before taking the comprehensive examination, that as much as possible before taking the exam, we have to be ready. For thesis and dissertation, after earning 12 units of coursework with graduate credit, the student may be allowed to enroll and work on his thesis or dissertation. You may enroll in a fraction of the thesis or dissertation as follows. For thesis, you can enroll 2 or 2 in every semester, or you can enroll 3 in every semester. For dissertation, you can enroll 3 units in every semester and 4 units in every semester. A graduate student who registered in all prescribed units for thesis or dissertation and still unable to finish the thesis or dissertation should enroll in succeeding semester or mid-year on residence, subject to policy on maximum residence of the program. All students enrolled in dissertation or thesis shall report to the respective advisory committee for consultation. For thesis, again, topics should be in line with the student's field of specialization. Though the panelists check on the niche of the paper, on the alignment of the expertise of the paper. However, it's also better that we could, before you finally decide, you consider whether the topic that you're going to venture is aligned on your program in accordance with the research and development trusts and priorities of the university. After passing the comprehensive examination, this student who is ready with his or her thesis or dissertation proposal will be allowed to defend before the advisory committee. Should the advisory committee suggests, the student shall engage the services of language editor. You can change the composition of the advisory committee. Change in the composition of advisory committee may be allowed under justifiable grounds and subject to the approval of the dean of the graduate school, of course, through the recommendation of the department chair or your program advisor, and it should be endorsed by the secretary of the graduate school for approval of the graduate school dean. And you have to write a waiver, a written waiver from parties concerned shall be obtained and submitted by the student to the office of the graduate school. The conduct of thesis may be done in absentia with approval of the advisory committee if the thesis or dissertation is reasonable to be done outside Bicol University. You must be duly enrolled for thesis or dissertation, or else you cannot hold your defenses. And you have to accomplish prescribed forms prior to the commencement of the work in absentia. There are forms that we can request from the office of the graduate school. Graduate student working in absentia shall make periodic reports of his or her progress to his or her advisor. And the final examination. The purpose of the examination is to pass the judgment on the research of the candidate. And the student may apply for final oral examination upon completion of his or her thesis or dissertation in a form acceptable to his advisor, who recommends the approval of the application for final defense or final examination. So your advisor and your advisory committee has really the say whether the advisor has really a say whether the student can already be subjected to defense or not. Okay, that's why it's important that you coordinate closely with your advisor, thesis or dissertation advisor, so that you can check the substance and the readiness of your paper. This has already been discussed. Final examination. During your final examination, there will be 3 ratings to be given. You will be given pass if all the members of the advisory committee approve the result of the final examination. Okay, meaning your paper is really okay. Provisional pass if the advisory committee agrees that minor revisions are required. And for redefense, means substantial revisions are required by 3 out of 4 members of the advisory committee for masters and 4 out of 6 members of advisory committee for doctoral. Failure to pass the second re-examination disqualifies you from your current graduate program. That's why make sure that before subjecting your paper to defenses, make sure that it is really ready for a defense. Ano? And again, I'd like to underscore, consult always your your thesis advisor before subjecting the paper to defense, okay? To make sure that we cannot be given a rating of redefense. These are the graduation requirements, but we are still in the transition, some of which may still not be required by the Office of the Graduate School. If you're applying for the graduation, you have to satisfy the following requirements. One, completion of all academic courses towards a degree. You have to pass the written, oral comprehensive examination for doctoral, and for master's, the written examination. Passing of the final oral examination, this is the thesis. Submission of the approved 3 bound copies of the manuscript to the Dean of the Graduate School through the program advisor of the department chair. And there should be an electronic copy to be submitted to the librarian for access of the students if it's allowed by the author. Copy of the published journal article or during a creative work, payment of graduation and other fees, and presentation of the corresponding university clearance. Please take note of the requirements and some deadlines. For the nomination of the advisory committee, the nomination will be done after the approval of your requested thesis or dissertation advisor. So if there is already a faculty assigned to you as your advisor, you and your advisor will now decide who will be the advisory committee, and it should be done first semester of enrollment. For the qualifying examination for doctoral students, it should be done first semester of enrollment because, as I have said, you cannot be allowed to enroll in the next semester if you have not passed the qualifying examination. The plan of coursework, the comprehensive or written and oral examination after completing all of courses, the thesis proposal defense after passing the comprehensive exam, the final exam after completion of the thesis or dissertation, journal article, and that's before graduation. Please take note that we have our official Facebook page and we have featured icons here. We have featured posts. We have the BUG Student Resources Open Access Drive. It contains issuances pertaining to the graduate school operations and policies, of course. Some things that you have to be that you have to take note of. You can access here in the student resources, especially for those who have just been admitted to graduate school this first sem. You can check this out, the featured icons in our official Facebook page. Please also take note of our contact details. If you have regular transactions or if your concern is considered as regular transaction, you can send your email here in the bugs-dean@bicol-u.edu.ph. If you would like to apply, or if there are some students who would like to apply in the graduate school for admission, you can I think there is an error in the email. I think this is bugs-admission@bicol-u.edu.ph. Apologies for that. For the thesis concerns, we will have to update this. I think this is not the email of the thesis and dissertation concerns, but it's also posted in the official Facebook page of Bicol University. For the student and progress and evaluation concerns, we have the secretary at bicol-u.edu.ph. For records and enrollment-related concerns, you may email the bagsreg at bicol-u.edu.ph. And we also have our website. You may visit the website. All our details in the graduate school are posted in the website, specifically on the admission process, the assessment of fees, and other provisions in the policy. For the thesis and dissertation concerns, you may email at bugs.t.d1971 at bicol-u.edu.ph. We respond to some concerns here also. So for example, if you would like to apply for your proposal defense, for your nomination, you may send or you may address your concern here in this email. That would be all. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again to the BUGS academic policies presented by the Secretary of the Graduate School, Dr. Roldan C. Cabiles. So later on, we will entertain your questions, concerns during our open forum right after the services of the graduate school. Now let's have the first services, which is the registrar services. Now may we request the BUGS registrar, Ma'am Veronica O. Gomez. Please watch this. So there you have it, the Registrar Services headed by the Bugs Registrar, Ms. Veronica O. Gomez. We will now proceed to the Student Services, Guidance Services, also the University Guidance Services, and the University Health Services by the BU OSAS. Please watch this. So while we are waiting for the next slide or next presentation, I just want to remind everybody, you may now prepare your questions, and later on we will entertain every questions during our open forum. Again, the Student Services and Guidance Services, University Guidance Services, and University Health Services through audiovisual presentation.
Empowering. But the great thing is, you have the chance to be more responsible. I would like to warmly welcome and congratulate everyone for passing the BUSET and getting a place in Bicol University. Your arrival here marks a new chapter of your life. You will be meeting new challenges, new people, new learnings and experiences. This new chapter may be a bit different from your high school life, wherein you were fully dependent to your parents, guardians, siblings, teachers, and other people close to you. This time, you will have the opportunity to make your own direction. Most of you will be living independently. Living home and exploring this new place seems daunting, yet exciting, challenging, yet empowering. But the great thing is, you have the chance to be more responsible, learn new things, acquire new knowledge, develop new skills, and be able to enhance your personal attributes in profound ways that will provide you a well-rounded personality even life after university. So what are the things you will be taking charge in college? First, you have to manage your time well. Managing your time appropriately becomes even more important when you leave high school for college. Life in college can be more complicated. There are so many things to do aside from taking and attending classes, schoolworks, projects, research works, and etc. There are also some extracurricular activities that are important. You may be overwhelmed by all of these, but keeping up a good schedule and setting your priorities, you can be able to achieve a very good time management, which is essential to success. Next is you have to handle your social life appropriately. Bicol University is a very big institution, which means a very big and new social scene for you. You are bound to test your social and emotional flexibility in meeting new people who came from different places. They are with different backgrounds, different views, interests, and perspective. They might also be different from you, but you have to embrace the difference and understand that everybody is unique. You need to respect other people's uniqueness so that you will be able to get better understanding both of yourself and others. In that way, you can be able to develop tolerance and patience. It would be easier for you to welcome people in your life and take the opportunity to make new friends and maybe new best friends who can be your real friends for life. But always remember that everything should have limits. In college, you may enjoy freedom, having many friends, and try so many things. You can even reinvent yourself if you want to. It is important to balance everything from having fun with the other parts of your life, such as studying and staying healthy emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Next is you have to handle your finances well. Your new independence includes being responsible for your money and how you manage it. In your high school days, most of you are receiving your allowance every day, but in college, most of you having it weekly or even monthly, especially those who are staying in boarding houses or dormitories. It is important that you handle your finances well to avoid financial stress and burden to your parents or whoever is financing your studies. The key to keep your finances in order are to set a budget and stick to it. Always keep track of how much you have in your pocket and avoid too much spending. Also avoid comparing how much allowance you have to others, especially to friends. Just live within your means. Be contented and thankful of your own blessings. As saying goes, a person with a grateful heart will always be happy and blessed. So always be grateful, happy, and contented of whatever you have. Next is practice mindfulness. It is being totally present in the moment, non-judgmentally, open and accepting. Be reminded that worries, fears, and anxieties are all in the mind. As quoted by Glenn Turner, worrying is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it gets you nowhere. So if you want to enjoy your university life and be successful someday, live with mindfulness, maintain your inner peace, and see the beauty of life every day. And lastly, ask help and support. Although it's true that in college you will find new independence and is expected to develop self-reliance, it doesn't mean that you are fully on your own. Always ask for help and support when you need it. It may be from your parents, friends, peers, professors, and administrators. There are some circumstances in life that you cannot do alone. You may encounter difficulties in dealing with other people and many new unfamiliar things to you. But with help and support from others, your life in this university will be lighter and happier. I also want you to know that there are support services available for all of you. We have different students' organizations that extend help to their peers, different offices such as the Office of Student Affairs and Services, and guidance offices in various colleges. We have registered guidance counselors and faculty in charge ready to assist you. They are assigned in various colleges. We also have the different programs in guidance, such as the Kaugos program, which is a telecounseling assistance for Bicol University students. Not only that, we also have the face-to-face counseling sessions in the different guidance offices. Most of all, during trying times, don't forget to seek for divine intervention. With God in your life, I'm sure you will succeed in all your endeavors and will have an enormous rewarding experiences in Bicol University. Good luck and good day once again. God bless you all.
Once again, thank you so much for that presentation from OSAS. Now let's proceed with the ICTO services. So may we request the representative of the BU ICTO, and please watch this. Hi, Ma'am Majel. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so on behalf of Dr. RSJ Ordonez, I will be the one who will present to you the different services offered by the BU ICTO. My name is Majel Belarma, and I am a computer programmer and project manager here in the office. Okay, ICTO, or Bicol University Information and Communications Technology Office, is the one who provides effective and efficient technical and IT support services to all sectors of Bicol University, including the administration of your BU email account, internet accounts, system development, and applications like the student portal, and different backup and maintenance in the university. So our office is located at the second floor of Building 1, College of Science, BU main campus. So if you're gonna look at the map, here is the Torch of Wisdom, here is the graduate school, and on this location is the College of Science. So in the College of Science, Building 1, our office is located at the second floor. So the director of the ICTO is Dr. RSJ Ordonez. And I will present to you the different staff in each department. For Office Operations Department, we have Sir Marlon, Miss Elaine, and Mr. Gerald. So if you have problems regarding your email accounts, your Google Storage account, they are the one who will assist you. We also have the Information System and Technology Department. So this team is involved on the development and maintenance of the applications and systems in Bicol University. And here are the different programmers of the ICTO. Sir Kenneth, Ian, Ezekiel, Jefferson, Justine, and Joshua. For technical and network team, so they are the one who manages the internet connectivity and other technical services in the university. We have Sir Davy, Sir Sus, Sir Dennis, Sir Carl, Sir Joms, and Sir Fred. The next one is I will present to you the different services offered by the ICTO, especially to the BU graduate students. So the first one is the BU email. So learn how to use BU email account. Later on, I will discuss to you how to access your email. We also have Google Storage. You have the student portal and the BU LMS, or the Learning Management System. For the BU email, so a while ago, we have someone who had chatted regarding the BU email account. Okay, so this is it. For your BU email, each student, upon enrollment, you will be given an official BU email account. So the format of your BU email account is the initials, the student number, then at bicolbsu.edu.ph. Later on, I will show you how to access and view your student BU credentials using the student portal. The next one, now that you have an email, so once you already have your email and log into Google, you have what we call BU Google Storage. So since Google has changed its policy of offering unlimited content storage, so before, the Google storage for each BU email account is unlimited. But since Google have already limited our storage, each student is only given 5 gig. So that's the maximum limit for your Google Workspace. So what is Google Workspace? So that 5 gig limit includes your data on your email, your Google Photos, Google Drive, Google Classroom. So the limit is 5 gig. Each student, here we have BU Student Portal. So the question, what is BU Student Portal and how can we access it? So every student can access their records, such as their personal and student account details, including your BU email account details. You can also view your class schedules, your grades after each end of each semester, and you can also evaluate your faculty using the BU Student Portal. So we call it IBU. So ibu.bicolbsu.edu.ph is where you can access the student portal. So currently, this year, we already launched the application for BUenos. So you can access the app using Google Play Store. But of course, currently, the app for Google Play is under maintenance because we are still updating the features. So right now, you can access your student portal using the web. So when you say web, you're going to open your browser like Google Chrome, Safari, and open the link. So the link for the IBU web is, please take note of this. You can save it, of course, to access it later on. So the link is ibu.bicolbsu.edu.ph. So you will enter it on your browser. So once you enter the link on your browser, it will be redirected to a website and click sign in. So once you click sign in here, you can view this interface, this login interface, where you will enter your credentials to successfully log in the system. So question, ano po ma'am yung i-enter kong details para maka-log in? So you will enter your student number. So saan po makukuha yung student number? Makikita niyo po yung student number sa inyong COR. Okay? Then you also have your password. If you're gonna look at your COR, meron po dun sa baba na temporary password. So you may be called you and numbers. Yung temporary password, yun po yung i-enter nyo for this password upon first login. Okay, so you have your student number, you have your temporary password found on your COR. Then click sign in. Once you click sign in, may magpa-prompt up po na change password. Okay, so you need to change your password upon first login for account security. Para kayo lang po yung nakakaalam ng password ninyo and hindi siya ma-access ng iba. Then you will enter your strong password, your current password, your new password. So make sure you have a copy of your new strong password. Okay, don't forget it kasi minsan madami pong mga problems na hindi na-access yung student portal kasi nakakalimutan yung password. That's why later on I will discuss to you paano kung nakalimutan nyo yung password, paano po kayo mag-reset. So next, okay, so from the chat, we have, I think, Ma'am Agatona Serrano. So she asked how to access her BU email address because she needed it for a form for the comprehensive examination. So to access your BU email account, makikita niyo po siya dun sa student portal. Okay? So once nakalagin na kayo sa student portal, click niyo yung profile sa upper right and you can view your BU email account. As you can see on the screen, you have the email. So this is just a sample and a temporary password. So yan pong temporary password, i-save nyo din. And you can now access your BU email. So paano po ma-access yung BU email nyo? So now that you have already your email and temporary password, you're going to the link google.com. Okay, so pupunta po kayo sa google.com. Pareho lang naman po pa nagsasign in kayo ng mga gmail.com na accounts. But here, yung i-enter nyo po ay yung BU email account, yung may @bicol-u.edu.ph. Then you will enter your BU email account, then temporary password na nandito po sa student portal. Yan na temporary password, yan yung i-enter sa Google. So after you enter your BU email account and temporary password, may maglalabas din pong prompt to change your password in BU email. So you have to save your accounts separately on your BU student portal account and BU email account. Magkaiba po sila. Okay? So the next one is the LMS. So the Learning Management System. So learning management system of BU is it's almost the same with Google Classroom. Ang pagkakaiba lang po niya sa Google Classroom is the BU LMS is used for Bicol University students and professors where they can manage their classes and enable you to view and download class materials, submit activities and assignments, take your quiz or exam, communicate through forums or messages. Okay? So to access the BU Learning Management System, you will go to the link bulms.bicol-u.edu.ph and click Google to sign in. Okay po, to log into LMS, i-click niyo po itong button na Google. And once you click the button Google, magsa-sign in po kayo using your BU email account, yung @bicol-u.edu.ph. Then enter your password and click Next in order for you to sign in to the LMS. So question, required po ba kaming lahat ma'am na students gagamit ng BU LMS? So it is optional po depending on your professor. If your professor has given you an instruction to conduct classes or submit your activities in BU LMS, your professor will be giving you a link or a code for you to access his or her course on the LMS. Okay? So if you have questions, so those are the different services offered by BU ICTO, the email, the storage, the student portal account, the LMS. If you want to contact us, if you have concerns, you can follow our BU ICTO Facebook page. So we use our Facebook page to post announcements, different instructions on how to access the systems. So don't forget to like our Facebook page. So for technical assistance, you can also visit our website or contact us through email. So buicto@bicol-u.edu.ph, or you can call us at 0968-688-3046 and like our Facebook page. So that would be all. Thank you so much, and we are happy to serve you. So your questions will be answered later on during the Q&A. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Majel, for representing Dr. Aris J. Ordonez of the BU ICTO. So again, let me reiterate that our open forum and all your questions will be entertained later on. Now, let's go back to the University Health Services. So please watch this.
Welcome to BCall University, a place where education is driven by scholarship, leadership, character, and service. Our commitment to excellence extends beyond the classroom, and today, we're excited to introduce you to a vital part of your journey, the BCall University Health Services. At BCall University, we're not just about books. We're about you, your health, your dreams, and your success. Our vision is clear, a university for humanity characterized by productive scholarship, transformative leadership, collaborative service, and distinctive character for sustainable societies. Our mission echoes our dedication to your growth. The BCall University shall give professional and technical training and provide advanced and specialized instruction in literature, philosophy, the sciences and arts, besides providing for the promotion of scientific and technological researches. And our quality policy reflects our relentless pursuit of excellence. BCall University commits to continually strive for excellence in instruction, research, and extension by meeting the highest level of clientele satisfaction and adhering to quality standards and applicable statutory and regulatory requirements. Now let's dive into the heart of today's topic, your well-being. Say hello to our incredible health services units. Meet our dedicated medical and dental health professionals. They're here to provide you with the highest quality and innovative healthcare services throughout your university journey. What can you expect from the BCall University Health Services? Let's explore. First up, our medical services offer conduct of physical health examination, giving attention to daily consultation and treatment, issuance of medical certificates, giving attention to emergency cases, making referrals of special cases to proper authorities, conduct of lectures and or counseling on management of illness, conduct of basic life support certification course, and establishment of linkages among other health agencies. And not to be outdone, our dental services provide conduct annual dental examinations for elementary, junior, and senior high school students, giving attention to dental consultation and treatment, Performance of oral prophylaxis. Performance of dental extractions. Making referrals of special cases to proper authorities. Conduct of chairside instructions or lectures. Issuance of dental certificates. To access these fantastic services, just show your university identification card or certificate of registration. Your health services units are open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday to Friday. Your well-being doesn't wait, and neither do we. As you embark on your journey here at Bicol University, remember that your health and happiness matter to us. Thank you for choosing us to be a part of your incredible adventure. Here's to a fulfilling and thriving university experience. Stay awesome, stay healthy, and make the most of every moment.
Thank you once again to the Bicol University Health Services for that comprehensive information regarding their medical and dental services. Now we will proceed with our library services. On behalf of the University Librarian, Ma'am Glenda Aurora S. Olyanada, we have here Ma'am Laila Belardo to discuss regarding the services of the University Library. Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning, Flor. Good morning, everyone. Magandang umaga po sa 258 attendees of this virtual college orientation of the BU Graduate School. So may I just share my screen? Okay, again, good morning. And in behalf of our university librarian, Ma'am Glenda Aurora Holyanda, I'd like to thank, first of all, the Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Jane Mascarinas, our BUG Secretary, Dr. Dan Cabiles, the faculty, staff, and the College Student Council for giving us this opportunity to join you today and conduct this brief library orientation. So this orientation was tailored to give an overview of the library resources and services that are available to support our graduate students in their academic journey in Bicol University. So just by way of introduction, my name is Mrs. Laila Belardo. I am the Reference and Information Services Librarian assigned at the University Library, and I also handle the circulation services. So I hope to wrap up this orientation in about 10 to 15 minutes, but if you have clarifications, questions, queries, you may see me at the first floor of the University Library, or you can reach me through our Facebook account, email, or through call and text. Okay, so this is the rest of the staff of the University Library. We are headed by Ma'am Glenda Holyanda, and we have 6 licensed librarians, support staff, and also a faculty IT coordinator. We also have here our unit or college librarians for the graduate programs in Ginobatan campus. You have your librarian, Miss Annalisa Tracy Moyo, and from the BU Tabaco campus library, we have Sir Stephanie Granatin. The University Library is located at the back of the BU Grandstand and beside the University Food Complex. So we have 7 other unit libraries distributed in the different campuses, but in the main campus, we have the Health Sciences Library for the College of Medicine and Nursing. So we have the Masters in Nursing. So we have specialized collection on health and related disciplines in health. They are The collection is located at the Health Sciences Library. That's in the second floor of the College of Medicine building. And then we also have the East Campus, Tabaco, Pulangi, Kinobatan, and the Gubat Campus Library. So all bona fide students of Bicol University can use and borrow resources from all of these libraries upon presenting, of course, the requirements. So what are the requirements for availing our library services? You need to present your certificate of registration, should be validated and signed by your college registrar, and together with a BU ID. So concerning for BU ID, you may inquire from the OSAS. Okay? And you also need to register as a patron by filling out this form. Okay? It's tinyurl.com/UL patron record. So you need to sign in using your BU email. We need to encourage everyone to fill out this form so we can include you in our library patron database. Yeah, you can visit the university library during Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we are also open during Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. However, we are closed during Sundays, public holidays, when classes are suspended, and during semestral or Christmas break. Every semester, we open on the first day of classes and closes on the last day of classes. The library has a variety of resources in the physical space and also online. So I'll be discussing these resources in the next slides. So for print resources, we have books, of course, the thesis and dissertation collection, and periodicals. For the books, these are all located, the books that you can borrow are located at the third floor of the university library. So we have foreign, Filipiniana, fiction, and special collection on gender and development, as well as books on Bicol literature, language, and also some reviewers for licensure examination. The general references are located at the second floor because these materials cannot be taken home. They are for room use only. For thesis and dissertation, of course, the master's thesis and the doctorate dissertations are available at the second floor. For these are the thesis and dissertation of the graduate school and also from the BU Open University. As a policy, thesis and dissertation cannot be taken home. They cannot be borrowed. We also have a periodical collection also available at the second floor. We have foreign and local journals. We have copies of the BU Research and Development Journal, the official research publication of the university, as well as publications of government agencies such as the Philippine Institute for Development Studies, also from the Philippine Statistics Authority, and the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas as our linkages. So I'd like to focus on this, on the electronic resources, given the nature of graduate students. So we have, currently we have a subscription to one research database, online database. It's called Gale Academic One File. So Gale Academic One File has thousands of e-journals which you can access for free. The database covers economics, health, mass media, and others, education, and different other disciplines. It has about 1,000 of journals, and we have subscription to about 5,000 journal titles. So there are about probably millions or thousands of articles which you can access, download for free. Aside from the e-journals, this database also has ebooks. So we have a subscription, perpetual based, of 232 downloadable ebooks available for our students and personnel. So how do you get access to this database? You need to fill out our online form The link is tinyurl.com/database password request. So it's a Google form. You need to use your BU email to and fill out the details, and after which we will send the link and the password of this database to your email or your FB Messenger account. Okay, so given the link and upon entering the institutional password, you will be directed to this homepage. Okay, so later I'll briefly show you this database. Another database that we have is TriTech Media, but TriTech Media only has a collection of ebooks, and we have a current subscription to 140 downloadable ebooks in different disciplines. But we're continuously acquiring, adding on the ebooks that we have from this database, from Gale and other potential databases. So all enrolled BU students, undergraduate and graduate students, as well as faculty, will be automatically registered using the BU email. So we are just waiting for the official list, because we will be the one to register you in the TriTech Media page, and then TriTech will just email the link and your unique password in your BU email. Okay, so aside from the databases that we have, we also have our online service, talking about the online public access catalog. So this is the gateway to the collection of the BU libraries. This is a union catalog, a union database of all the books, the thesis and dissertation available in the BU libraries. This is also web-based, so you can check this out 24/7. So before going to the library, you'll already know where to find the exact location of the book that you are looking for, or the thesis or dissertation. Okay, it's very simple to use. At the home page, you don't need to log in. Please ignore this BU iLab account. You can use any of the fields, author. You can search by author, title, subject, or just use any field, so you'll have an extensive search hits. Okay, so just type in a keyword and click search or press enter. And it will then show you the bibliographic information of the material. So I'd like to direct your attention to our library website, so you'll know where you have a direct link to these databases in the OPAC. Okay, so our temporary library website is sites.google.com/bicol-u.edu.ph/buls. Okay, so when you go to this link, this URL, this is the homepage of the library website, and you'll find everything here. This is a one-stop shop, or information resource. So you have details about all the libraries here under this, and then our resources, services, news and announcements, even the soft copy, e-copy of our newsletter, and links to our forms. So under resources, just click electronic resources, or this one for the drop down. Click Gale e-journals and ebooks. Okay, click this image, and it will direct you to the homepage of Gale Academic One file. So you need to sign here the institutional password that we will give you. Okay, upon signing in, you'll see you can use cross search and Gale Power Search to look for articles or even ebooks or book chapters. So you can select or deselect, include or not include ebooks. Okay, let's just try a keyword. For instance, public administration. just enter or click this one. Okay, so using public administration as a keyword, we have 26,977 articles from academic journals and 2 from books. Okay, so you'll find here, just scroll down, all the journal articles that are accessible. They are peer-reviewed and they are downloadable for free. Okay. So for instance, you'd like to read this article, just click over the title and you can cite this article, send it to your email, download it or print it, and you'll see the full text of the article from abstract up to the references down below. Yeah. And even the citation, if you can choose what kind of citation. Okay, so this is how easy it is to navigate the Gale Academic One file. Okay, you can also look at the OPAC. There's a direct link of the catalog at the home page. You just click this image and you will be directed to our OPAC. Okay, so let's try again the keyword public administration. Okay, using any field, and it will show you the different the book titles, even the theses. This icon means it's a book using the word public administration. Or if you use title, I mean author, you can type in first the surname, for instance, Brillantes. Alex Brillantes, for instance, one of the popular authors on public administration. And so these are the books under the author Alex Brillantes or Brillantes Alex. Okay, so let me continue my discussion. Okay, so this, just you can screenshot or take note of this of our website, sites.google.com/bicol-edu.edu.ph/puls. Okay, so if you need a tutorial video, you can go to our YouTube channel, Bicol University Library System or BU Library System. We have uploaded tutorial videos of how to access or how to use this online electronic resources, our OPAC, including our previous orientations. Okay, let me just discuss the basic policies, important policies that you need to know on how to so you can access our resources and our services. So for borrowing privileges of graduate school students, you can borrow a maximum of 2 books at a time, and the loaning period or loan duration for graduate school is 1 week, while for open university students it's 2 weeks. Okay? For fiction books, it's also 1 week for graduate school and 2 weeks for open university students. While again, for thesis and dissertation, general references, and print periodicals, they are for room use only. So you need to be a registered library patron so we can issue a student borrower's card. Okay, to be given a student borrower's card, you also need to present your BU ID and your certificate of registration or COR for the current semester. Now, the schedule of borrowing from Monday to Friday is anytime during library hours. And the books that you borrowed may be renewed once. You can do it in person or send us a message in our Facebook account, in email, on or before the due date and the due time, so we can document it and it will not incur fines if ever you go beyond the due time on your due date. For returning books, your borrowed books must be returned not later than 9 a.m. on your due date, because it will incur fines of 5 pesos per hour or 40 pesos per day per book. While that's for general circulation books, while for fiction books, it's 5 pesos per day. Now, students with accountabilities, meaning unpaid fines or unreturned books, are listed in the online student clearance system. So when you request for a credential, academic records, or when you enroll, you won't be able to enroll immediately or request for the records immediately if you have an accountability with the library. So you have to settle it with us first. Now, if you lost your books, it can be replaced there's a procedure, but it can be replaced with an exact book that you lost, or a newer edition of that book, or payment of its acquisition cost. Now, we also issue referral letter or e-referral letter to graduate students if you need to visit other libraries to do research. The requirements are you must be enrolled for the current semester, and you have to present to us your COR. So you can do this in person, or you can request through email or through Facebook. For library clearance, for purpose of requesting your academic records, for filing of the leave of absence or honorable dismissal, or for graduation purposes, the only requirement is you should not have a library accountability. One of the digital reference and information services that we have, which was very popular during the pandemic, is Ask RISA. RISA stands for Reference and Information Services Assistance or Assistant. This is an online Google form that you need to fill out if you need to reserve a book online before you actually go to the library or have someone pick it up. And we also scan the abstract of theses and dissertations if you do not have, you cannot go personally to the library. We can scan the abstract page, or if you have the authority of the author, we can go beyond the abstract page. Also, we can scan articles from our print journals and book chapters. This is a summary of the links to our online forms and services and resources. You have the link to the OPAC, our Ask RISA, for the database password request and the patron record form. And also, we have a client satisfaction survey. These are also available in the different sections of the library. And you can also suggest a purchase for books and ebooks. So this is the link, tinyurl.com/UL book request form or ebook request form. So your request will be evaluated by our library committee and approved by the library committee. And also we have an evaluation for this library orientation. This is the link. So kindly fill it up so we'll know what other information you would like to know during when we conduct library orientations. Okay, again, this is the link, and if you have any more questions, if you have questions, queries, you can use this online platforms, and I will also be available later on during the question and answer. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much once again, Ma'am Belardo, for presenting the library services. And again, before we proceed to our open forum, let me discuss quickly about the Bicol University Graduate School Student Council. So let me share my screen. Thank you. At this point, this is our none other than the Bicol University Graduate School Student Council for academic year 2023-2024. About BUGSSC. The BUGSSC Student Government of Graduate School Students, which is comprised of the General Assembly, Executive Council, Standing Committees, and Designated Advisor. Here are the list of our previous presidents of GSSC. For the 2014, we have Professor Eda Salvacion Pai Adornado. For 2015 to 2017, the late Expedito G. Lobetano Jr. And for 2018 to 2020, Mr. Alan Q. Venus. Now, here's the current officers of GSSC. For PIO, Mr. Stephen Mark Apin. For Business Manager, IBB Belgar. For Business Manager again, Hector B. Atondo. For Auditor, Faustino L. Arimado. For Treasurer, Dick Anthony Calleja. For Secretary, Joan Alejo. For Vice President, Arimer E. Valencia. And for the President, yours truly, Lord J. Naval Medina. And our advisor, Professor Eda Salvacion Pai Adornado. Here are the Constitution and bylaws of the BUGSSC. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6. And we will give you an electronic copy of this during our General Assembly this coming October 14, 2023. And let me just reiterate or focus on the collection of fees. From the Article 7, the funds of the organization shall come from the BUGSSCP collected every semester, including summer. The amount shall be 80 pesos both masters and doctoral. The funds upon collection shall be immediately deposited in a bank or in any reputable financial institution to be determined by the major of the officers. No fund withdrawal shall be honored without choice of the president, treasurer, and the advisor. The financial transaction of the organization shall be audited annually by an independent external auditor or certified public accountant. And last, the president, treasurer, auditor, and advisor of the organization shall be held legally liable for any illegal transactions entered by the said party. University rules and regulations or administrative orders involving organization fund shall determine such. So here's the copy of the or the sample of the acknowledgement receipt kapag nagbayad po kayo ng ating 80 pesos including summer. And then the current accomplishment of BUGSSC, the oath taking last November 12, 2022, together with the former dean, and now the BU President, Dr. Baby Boy Nebres. Then, of course, the Forum on Safe Spaces Act, the collaboration with the Center for Gender and Development, Open University, and BUC. Paskong Masaya 2022, together with the BU GMA IGD, College of Law and Graduate School, and OpenU. The signage installation at the BU Facade or BU Graduate School and the landscaping of the BU Graduate School students area. So we have here the future plans. The BUGS lanyard. Here's the sample layout for this. Then the BU Graduate School shirt is also the sample layout. And once again, let me just remind everyone that October 14, 2023 will be the General Assembly. So thank you. So if you have any concerns with regards to the Graduate School Student Council, you may email us at bugs@bicol-u.edu.ph. Once again, thank you. Now we will proceed with our open forum. I guess pwede na natin simulan dito sa ating first question na nandito po at nababasa natin dito sa ating chat box. So good morning. For students who are outside the country or outside Bicol region, can process application for proposal defense and final defense via online? And that's from Daniela. So may I ask our BUG Secretary to answer this concern?
Thank you so much. I'd like to know what's the residence of the student. If the residence is in the graduate school, then transaction, we also welcome online transaction. However, there may be delay in the transaction. So as much as possible, if your residence is in the graduate school and you are in abroad, there should be somebody who could perhaps do the transaction in behalf of you. For Open University students, I think there is also a mechanism provided by BOOU, and these things will be discussed during the BOOU orientation. It will be facilitated, I think, with the Office of Open University.
Thank you, Sir Dan. Ito po, second question din po, I think follow-up question ni Ma'am Daniela. Can we ask for the guidelines of the thesis writing? I guess, Sir Dan, let me answer this. Yan po ay nandun na po sa Google Drive na naipresent nyo po. So, hanapin nyo lang po yung guidelines or the format, contents, or parts of the thesis writing. Do you have any additional, Sir Dan?
Yeah, thank you for that, Lord. I agree. We have our policy in the open access in the featured posts on our official Facebook page. You can perhaps visit that. All our administrative orders, the revised bugs policies are accessible in the drive, including the forms which you will be needing in applying for example, comprehensive examination or proposal defenses. We also have provided our hotline number on our official Facebook page. You can call us through that cell phone number. Our Facebook is also, we also have assigned somebody who will answer queries on official Facebook page, and we respond to that from time to time. So those are, I think, significant information that we can look into in relation to thesis and dissertation.
Thank you. Good morning. Does anyone have the link for attendance? Meron po tayong evaluation link na isa-send po later on. So next question, paano po ang setup ng comprehensive exam sa mga students in outside country or OFW? Again, thank you so much, Ma'am Agonos, for answering the question of the student. So the answer is, the guide or a guide for conduct of comprehensive exam will be presented to BOU students, and an orientation will be also conducted separately. Again, thank you, ma'am. So we have here another question with regards to medical services clinic. So we have here from Ma'am Cynthia. So may I know where the medical services clinic of the graduate school is located? And do we have one? And another follow-up question is, the classes of the BOGs are conducted on Saturdays, and the medical services, as stated earlier, are from Mondays to Fridays only. What will happen if there will be cases needing medical attention during Saturdays? Who will take charge? Sir Dan?
Thank you, Floyd. I may perhaps answer the first question of Dr. Cynthia. Bicol University Graduate School is located in the main campus, and we make use of the services of the University Health Services, considering that the UHS is also part of the main campus. So our faculty members, including the students, can avail of the services of the UHS. So it caters to different colleges in the university, and even the students from the external campuses may also avail the same, since this cater to all the colleges, not just in the main campus. Perhaps the second question, I may perhaps give this to the Dean of the Graduate School, from Jane.
Yes. The question of Dr. Cynthia is in place and valid, and I do agree for the concern. But at this point, at our level, we cannot yet give a conclusive answer for that, but we will assure you that we will relay it to the concerned offices and officials officially. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again, Ma'am Jane, Dr. Jane, and Dr. Dan. Now, let's proceed with the next question. Good noon po. Can I take comprehensive exam without being enrolled in thesis or capstone project in our case, MIS? But I already finished the academic requirements po. Sir Dan.
The basis for taking the comprehensive examination is that first you should be officially enrolled before being allowed to take the comprehensive examination. And you should have finished the course requirements, the academic course requirements. So if you are already done with your foundation courses, the major courses and the cognates which are required in the curriculum, then you can be allowed to take the comprehensive examination, provided that all subjects have grades. And if you have INCs, your INCs have been assigned already a grade by the concerned faculty member.
Thank you, Sir Dan. So may order form na po ba for lanyard at shirt? So let me answer the question. Wala pa po, but we will prepare the order form para po organize yung pag-order ng lanyard and shirt. Thank you. Next question. Good morning. Is it necessary to take thesis writing right after passing the comprehensive exam, or it is okay to file LOA if we're not yet going to take the thesis writing? Thank you. From Donalyn Antonio.
Thank you. Our requirement for proposal defense is actually the result of the comprehensive examination, may be in written and oral examination. So if you've passed already the comprehensive examination, there's a time that the graduate school will allow you to request for advisor for filing for the proposal examination. So it is a must that we pass first, or after completing the academic requirements, we now proceed with the comprehensive examination. But while we are preparing for the comprehensive examination, we can already eye for a prospective advisor, and prospective panelists for those who are not covered by the policy. For example, these students are the ones who were accepted 2020 below, because we are in the transition of the implementation of our policy. But those students who were admitted from 2022 to present, you are required to have already your advisory committee, from the time that you are admitted to the graduate school, because from time to time you have to consult your advisory committee as to perhaps changes in the panel, or if you would like to change also the advisor and so on. But there's a process related to that. For the thesis writing, if you anticipate that you cannot have the defense for a long time, and if there are unavoidable circumstances that may hinder you to take the thesis writing, I'd like to suggest that you file leave of absence, so that you can save the residence at what I have discussed in the presentation a while ago, so that you can save your residence. Just like, for example, there are a lot of students who are filing leave of absence and they were admitted from 2016. And if we're going to count from 2016, they have already exceeded their maximum residence, and that there is no remaining residence left in the graduate school. And therefore, we cannot grant leave of absence anymore to them. So, if I'm not mistaken, if you're admitted 2019, ito yung mga estudyante na meron pang natitirang residence. But if you were admitted from 2017, 2016, definitely you no longer have residence, and that you have to expedite your thesis and dissertation.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, from Christine Secretario. Hi, ano po ba ang guideline ng GS regarding sa pag-dissolve ng subject, Sir Dan?
In dissolving the subject, as of now, we are following the 5 number of students. If the subject has below 5 students, then the subject may be dissolved. But I think there has been a memorandum issued by the Office of the Dean that if the subjects have 4 students and below, then it's going to be part of the load.
And next, new student here from Giselle Jane Miralles. May schedule na po ba for grad school ID? So, Sir Dan, let me answer the question because kakakuha ko lang po ng ID. So, last Saturday po, kumuha po ko ng ID sa BU OSAS. So in other words po, every Saturday bukas po ang BU OSAS, lalo na po ang floor para po mag-print ng grad school or ng Bicol University ID. So just pay first the IDP. I think that's 70 or 75 pesos. And then after, you may now proceed to the second floor of BU OSAS to claim or to print your BU ID. Next, how about the signatories? Ito po another, I guess, follow-up question from Danela. How about po the signatories for the application of defense? Can we facilitate online like e-signature? Because that the panels are not usually available in the university. Based on my experience, it took weeks for me to complete signatories. It will be a problem for me now that I am residing in Manila. Sir Dan, any thoughts?
Yeah, we still allow e-signature. However, hindi pwedeng i-4 kapag it's about defense, it's an application for proposal defense, final defense. Hindi pwedeng i-4 ng faculty because the accounting does not permit. It should be an original signature of the faculty for the for the payment, of course, of the panelists. So our staff here checks from time to time the applications. So we'd like to suggest that you really secure the original signature of the faculty. Yeah, we still allow the e-signature.
Thank you. And I think this will be the last from Susan Estendero of the HTPA. So would like to be enlightened further about the manners of the following. 1, qualifying exam. 2, publication. And 3, oral and written comprehensive exam. Thank you, Sir Dan.
Yeah. For the qualifying examination, if you have been admitted from this semester, first semester, you should already be applying for your qualifying examination so that you can be allowed to enroll next semester. Because by policy, you cannot have an enrollment if you have not passed the qualifying examination. So the advisory committee will look into your suitability to the program, whether you're still on track or you're still is your expertise still really for that particular program. So your advisory committee will guide you on that. The publication, this will still have to be discussed with the advisory committee and of course the program advisors because we are still on the transition. So we cannot still declare the publication. We will announce this matter if this is already final, of course in coordination with the bodies, okay, because it has to be deliberated by a concerned body. For the oral and written comprehensive exams, it's a requirement after finishing all the academic subjects, the foundations, the major courses, and the cognates. But the first one that you are going to take is the written examination, and after finishing the written examination, you may now proceed to the oral examination. These two are very clear also in our policy. You can check out the policy that I have referred to a while ago in the open access drive. There are forms that you may perhaps request from the graduate school or get from that open access drive so that we can facilitate your applications. You can also ask the wisdom of the program advisors in relation to applying the oral and written comprehensive examination.
Thank you so much once again. And there you have it. I think that's our open forum. Again, if you have any questions, concerns regarding our services, marami po kami na i-provide na email ad, especially to the Dean's office and then to the different kind of concerns like in thesis, dissertations, and to the others. And now, at this point, before we end or before I proceed to the remarks, may I request everyone to turn on the cameras or have a screenshot para at least po i-document natin at this moment yung ating mga participants for this orientation. Again, let me just repeat that our evaluation link ay nandito na po or isa-send po later ng ating BAG secretary. So let me do the honor and I'll just send the screenshots to our staff here at the Dean's office. So we have here 5 panels. Let me start with the first panel. 1, 2, 3, and smile. Another one. Next panel, please. 1, 2, 3, and smile. Another panel. 1, 2, 3. Another one. 1, 2, and 3. And the last one. 1, 2, and 3. So there have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for attending. But before we end and before we proceed to the BU hymn, let me first acknowledge and thanks the following for making this orientation possible and successful. Let's have here the Bicol University Communication and Public Relations Office, headed by Dr. Reneline Bautista, the Director, together with the staff, Mr. Arnold Noda. Maraming salamat po. Of course, we would like also to say thank you to ating BU officials, especially to our BU President, Sir Nepres, and at the same time to the President for Academic Affairs, Ma'am Bores. Also to the deans and directors, also to the dear program advisors, to the graduate faculty members, and of course, Sir John Ray, our office staff, for preparing the PowerPoint presentation. On behalf of the Bicol University Graduate School community, we welcome you here at BU Graduate School. So ladies and gentlemen, maraming salamat po for being with us. And once again, if you want to replay everything po na nangyari po ay pwede natin may replay sa BU official Facebook page. And at the same time, our evaluation link is now available here sa ating chat box. I am Flor J. Naval Medina, your moderator, and live here at the Zoom meeting and Facebook Live. This is the orientation for new and returning students for academic year 2023-2024. Have a great day.
This is the school